Wix for my business because of its massive scope for function.
Hello, I'm waiting for this thing to pick up. It takes a while, but hello and welcome back to the Dr. Heinz YouTube channel. I go by the name of Dr. Heinz. I'll be your host for this evening. And thank you so much for tuning in once again for another installment of this Code Read transcript series that we've been doing for the past 2 weeks now, I believe, since the transcripts were made available courtesy of Katt Wagner. Shout out to her. You can go check her out on our channel, Good Take, Bad Take. But yeah, we've been covering the testimony of Grace Jabbari. She was the key witness in the Jonathan Majors trial because she was the one that was in the middle of the altercation, purported, or I call it purported, well, not purported, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like in this altercation, she alleged that Jonathan Majors was the culprit behind her injuries. The jury uh, found that Jonathan Majors was guilty of reckless third degree assault, and harassment charges, which was just a violation, not really a crime. The aggravated harassment and the intentional assault, he was not guilty on, and I think that needs repeating every single stream. But yeah, we are back because on the last episode, just a quick recap, on the last episode, we were going through the events, and Priya was just running through again what happened after car 1, car 2, car 3, which is basically the scenarios or the amount of times they got into the car. So car 1 was when he lifted her up, and they were in the middle of traffic. Car 2 was when they left car 1, the whole lifting up, and then went to a chase scene afterwards, all of those things. After all of that, they got back into the car. Jonathan tries leaving again. Grace pulls him back, tries pulling him back, obviously overpowered, but according to the video evidence that's been made available. And car 3 was the return back into the same car, and again Jonathan exiting to the hotel after all this was going on. So based on that, based on all these events, so many more things happened after this. Grace went back to the apartment, testified. This wasn't on the previous stream, by the way. This was on the other streams that we are doing. This is kind of like a mega recap now, but nonetheless, it goes without saying that that when Grace went back to her apartment, they had communications with Holly Blakey. Holly Blakey is our best friend, and we went through the transcript of that on this channel. That was actually the first videos that we done. It's in part 2, the second part. So all of this, and we also went through Officer Swain testimony, where again it was found on the there was a crossover, where, well, overlap, I should say, for lack of better words, overlap, that where Grace had testified that the police were telling her that Majors had was volunteered the fact that they were having an altercation. However, Officer Swain's testimony was not the case. It was basically saying that this was not the case, that Grace was actually the one that volunteered this information to him, and then they went back to Jonathan, came back to Grace, and that was basically it. So you can go and find all of these streams on the channel. You can find other videos on the channel as well that we've covered. We deep dives here. The replays are on the live segments, and they're all wrapped up in a neat little playlist for you to go and binge watch, etc. You can also find it on the drheinz.info website. It's on the screen. But yeah, so without further ado, so that was that little quick recap or mega recap out of the way. I just want to say, before we go into a transcript, make sure you hit that like button, please. It's gonna help out so much with the algorithm, so much. It would be really really helpful to get this out there and get this on people's faces and people's screens. And of course, make sure you sign up. Make sure you subscribe. Sorry, not sign up. Make sure you subscribe for the to the Dr. Heinz channel, so that you can be notified whenever we do an upload. I am uploading an interview with Megan Fox not that one, but Megan Fox, an investigative journalist that uh and we talked about Jonathan Majors as well, and how the media has portrayed him, because this is kind of the reason why I'm also doing a series. I also want to cross reference and fact check the media's reporting of this case, because I do feel they were really lackadaisy, especially when it came to the cross exam. We saw it on the previous two streams that we done literally back to back with this one. We saw them and how they were framing some of the testimony that Grace had given. It wasn't actually in context with what was being presented on the transcript. So we'll be doing that as well, and we're gonna go straight into the transcript reading. Shout out to everyone that's locked in and that is tuned in here. Shout out to even if you're lurking, shout out to you and thank you for joining. And also, it goes without saying, do utilize the chat, interact with me. I will always do my best to, like, communicate back and give my opinions based on what you are saying in the chat. So, whatever you have to say is really valuable. So make sure you share it in the chat as well. But yeah, without further ado, I appreciate every single one of you for tuning in onto this live stream. So let's go back into the cross exam here. We stopped last time on page 397. So I'm just gonna get, as I do every stream, I'm just gonna quickly go back up so that we can refresh our memory and basically go through the remainder of before we go through the remainder of the cross exam. So the so on 394 near the end, it says, and what was your demeanor when you were asking him these things on the street? Similar, just upset, pleading a little bit, and like, yeah, I was heartbroken. My demeanor reflects that. I guess you were screaming at him, weren't you? I don't believe I was screaming. I don't recall that. So basically, this was when they were talking. I don't believe we got to see this part where they were actually talking to one another. It could be in reference to the when she was talking with Holly Blakey, Shams, and Max. It could be in reference to that, because we do see her go, like, so we don't, like, but the jury didn't get to hear that, but we did hear the audio, and the jury did hear the audio from that. So I don't think they're referring to this one in particular. I think there is another recording that we are not privy to, that they were having this discussion. And but just so that you know, on the last episode, it was actually established here that this conversation was without audio, so the jury did not really get to hear what they were talking about. Would anything reflect your recollection? So she was told to move on, she being Priya. On the screen we see Max and Shams following, right? So Miss Jabbari, on the top of the screen, we just saw Mr. Majors turn the corner, correct? And Mr. Majors, correct. And Mr. Majors is walking continually down the sidewalk, correct? Correct. Yes. So I think this is when, so based on reading that, it's likely that they're referring to when they were talking to the bystanders, etc. Ms. Jabbari, this is the same street we just saw you and Mr. Majors a few minutes ago run up, correct? I'm not sure if it is, then yes. At this time, the first time you ran up the street, you were running in the same direction as the cars, right? The video we saw earlier. Sorry, will you say that again? When you were first running up the street, etc. So we went through this on the last stream as well. The taxi, not really taxi, the driver, I don't know. I don't know whether to call it Uber, but I'll just say for the purposes of this case, I'm just going to call it the concierge service, because Priya Santiani, Jonathan Major's manager, I know I'll butcher the name probably, but Jonathan Major's manager had booked out this car, so most likely it's a concierge service that was sent to go and pick both Majors and Grace Jabbari up to go wherever they wanted to go. And that vehicle basically went and parked up where they had ran, and she was running in onto the oncoming traffic. The reason why I'm making this distinction is because later on we get to learn that Grace also took a taxi home. So they were calling it taxi and taxi. So for clarity, and so that everyone can actually know that Grace did not take this car home, this concierge service home, that she took another taxi. So it's just to clear up that confusion. So for the purposes of this stream, I'm calling it a concierge service, so that we can differentiate what vehicle Grace took home, because it could be confusing that even though it is clarified that it was a yellow cab taxi, I just don't want to run that risk. I just don't want to. I'm calling it concierge service, which is what the driver was using, as opposed to the taxi that that's also in the course of this event. So moving on. So now recap is over. We are now moving into the cross exam, continuing from where we stopped yesterday. So we just saw Mr. Majors began to jog in the bottom of that, correct? I was looking at Chloe, sorry. We could go back. Do you see him? I see him jogging there, yeah. We just saw Mr. Majors turn around and go back up the sidewalk, correct? Yes. And at the end of the sidewalk, we see Chloe and I. Wait, what? And at the end of the sidewalk, we see Chloe, and I think that's Shams, right? I saw Chloe. I think so, based on what he was wearing, but it's not clear at all. And Mr. Majors is returning towards where you were, correct? Correct. Ms. Jabbari, that's you and Mr. Majors and Chloe near each other on the sidewalk, correct? So what they're basically referring to, I'm going to share this, I think is to do with here. No, that's Majors already gone. So I think it's to do with events here. So that would be Chloe, I believe. And I think that's I think this is what they were all referring to in that reading, in that testimony. So correct. So it says, Ms. Jabbari, that's you and Mr. Majors Chloe near each other now on the sidewalk, correct? Correct. That's Shams and Max that are walking up, right? Yes. And now you, Chloe, Shams, and Max, and Mr. Majors are all standing on the sidewalk, right? Yes. This is the break between car 1 and car 2 we discussed earlier, correct? Correct. This is when you testified Mr. Majors had his manager on the phone, correct? At some point before the car came back, I believe, or maybe when the car was here, he was on the phone to Priya. Yes. Sorry, for the record, that's Miss Satyani, correct? Yes. Miss Jabbari, at this time, your stuff is in the car, correct? Yes. Mr. Majors doesn't have it, does he? If he did, he didn't tell me. Did he give you your stuff? No. Did you get your stuff back? Yes. You are asking him at this time, as you said, for your keys and your phone, right? So the objection there was most likely, don't know, maybe hearsay or relevance or something like that. And it was overruled. Priya answers the question. Sorry, not Priya. Grace Jabbari answers the question saying, I believe so. It was part of the conversation. And you testified previously that you were telling Mr. Majors that you wanted to get, at this time, you're talking to Mr. Majors before wanting to get back in the car. So you could speak privately about what just happened, right? I know that when the car was there, that was something I suggested at that point. I'll read that all again. I know that when the car was there, that was something I suggested at that point. I was talking about needing to locate my items and still talking about cheating, things like that. Okay. You're talking about the cheating with those 3 people standing there, right? Yeah, I believe I believe I wasn't keeping it a secret. Well, you weren't keeping anything a secret. Well, except for the, as you say, keeping the violence a secret, even though you volunteered his name and say, I'm Jennifer Major's girlfriend, all these things, which is what she did on the previous stream. I'm Jennifer Major's girlfriend, and he cheated on me. If you were not trying to make him look bad, I don't think you lead with that. Just saying. But but now you have plausible deniability that, hey, I didn't volunteer the violence, but I hate him so much that I volunteered the cheating, and I felt that was safe to volunteer. Anyway, rant over. So fast forward, etc. They're just doing housekeeping here. I'll read this part out. Is it right? So there is something here. Can we fast forward this a little bit? Yes, it's almost done. This is Judge and Priya talking. I'm looking at the faces. I don't see excitement. Is it possible to speed up or move it forward? I assume we're getting to the second car. I hope so. Yeah. Me too. Says the judge. Do you know on what section of this tape is the second car? It's coming up, sir. It's 6 minutes and 30 seconds of the standing on the sidewalk. And Prayer now turns to Grace Jabbari. Says, Miss Jabbari, that's the car that just pulled up, right? A car just pulled up, yes. That's the car you were in all night. I believe it is. Yes. Back to normal speed. So that's the driver that just got out of the car, correct? I believe so, yes. That's the driver walking towards back in the car, and the car has his others on, right? Yes. So again, going back onto the, yeah, this is what she's referring to. That's the vehicle that she's referring to at this point. So going back into the reading, and the driver just opened the rear drive, and the driver just opened the rear driver side door, correct? Yes. And he's reaching in the car, right? It appears so. That's Mr. Majors walking towards the driver, correct? Yes. And he's now standing by a driver with the door open on the driver's side, correct? Yes. Ms. Jabari, at this time, Mr. Majors is standing by the car and you're standing with those people, right? Yes, by those people. Sorry, Chloe, Shams, and Max, correct? Yes. Ms. Jabari, you've just started walking toward Mr. Majors, right? Yes. Well, the car, yeah. Mr. Majors just said for you to get into the car, correct? Objection, judge. If you can report, I have no idea. Maybe mischaracterization or form, maybe. I don't recall. I see a gesture, but I don't know what his intention of it was. Point out. So judge instructs either the witness or Prayer to point out what the gesture was. Mr. Majors just extended his right arm pointing into the car where the door is open, correct? Yeah, or at the driver, I'm unsure. Can we play it again? Then you approach the car again. Sorry, then you approach the car, right? No. I believe I take something from the driver. Looks like a handbag or something. I don't know I'm just saying what it looks like. So from this testimony, it would be suffice to say that she got her property back, so she can leave at this point. I'm guessing, but it's Jonathan that does the leaving, not her. So what this is quick sidebar. What this is suggesting to me is that what this is suggesting to me is that she wanted to go home with Jonathan despite everything that was happening that night, and Jonathan wanted to go to a hotel. So she got her stuff back, and she was still wanting for him to get into the car. The reason why I know that is because it's because of what we see here. Because this was the events that they're talking about. I believe he's here. I'm just going. I don't want to fast forward too far. So he walks away now. The gesture is likely here. And as you can see, the testimony of what Grace was talking about in the car, if you were in the previous episodes, Grace has always testified to the fact that she wanted to see the text, she wanted to go home, that she didn't want to do all this, she just wanted to go home, all those things. Jonathan leaves. That was her testimony in the first few days of this. So now what that's telling me is that Grace did not want to actually leave. Well, was not inferior is what I'm trying to say. She was perfectly happy to go back home with this guy. She was the one that was most likely mortified of Grace, based on the fact that he had to leave the scene and get a hotel to stay there. Of course, some rationalize this as emotional psychological abuse, because he just wanted to torment her with the thought of cheating, etc., not putting her at peace, not giving her the phone, not wanting to communicate, you know, referencing another stream I've done. But in this position, what this is basically saying is he can't win. And to me, based on what was explained on that stream, I'm referencing the stream with Angelina Lewis, it would make perfect sense why he himself, he probably knew these thoughts going on. It's like, hey, I can't win in this, I'm just gonna go. But that's just my opinion. So going back into the cross-examination, says Miss Majors just gestured towards towards the car again with his right arm. Again, I wouldn't be able to tell you where or what he is gesturing to. You did just see Miss Majors back away from you, correct? I don't know what you mean by that. Can you play it again? That's Mr. Majors extending his right arm, right? Correct. And he extended it twice, and you're facing him, and his back is towards the camera, right? Yes. Now, Mr. Majors is walking backwards away from you, correct? He's walking backwards, yeah. And you're walking towards him, right? And I'm walking with him. I'm walking with him, yes. Let me see that. No, I don't like this characterization. Let me go back to this. It's like the come on. Oh, come on. I'm looking for that's Grace there. I'm looking for this pointing that they're referring to. That's them there. He's pointing there. It means the driver shakes his hand, etc. Saying get in a car, etc. Blah blah blah. Okay, so that's what they're referring to. They got into a car. Nothing happens for a while, and then I believe Jonathan gets out of the car at this point. Yeah, Jonathan gets out of the car, walking backwards, and he's not walking with him. By the way, that's not walking with somebody. That's I think this is what Priya is referring to. That's Chloe trying to get Grace back into the car. They return again, and again, this is not walking with somebody. I don't know. Again, like I said, like I've been saying on previous streams, she minimizes the things that she doesn't need to. But yeah, I'm walking with him. Yes, Mr. Majors is there shaking hands with the driver, right? It would appear so. Yes, Mr. Majors just again extending his right arm towards the car, correct? He extended his right arm, I believe, to which I don't know what he's saying at that point. You were talking to him at the time, right? It looks like we were talking to each other. So he's talking to you as he's gesturing towards the car. I guess so. I don't know. Miss Jabbari, this is car 2, correct? I believe so. Yes. And this is the second time you get in the car, and that's the driver at the bottom of the screen, right? Yeah, I believe so. And the car has its red lights sort of flaring in the screen, right? In the shot. Yes. And you testified that in car 2, you were in the car for approximately 2 minutes with Mr. Majors, right? As I said, I couldn't recall the exact time. Maybe around that time, yes. And that in car 2, Mr. Majors got into the third row all the way in the back, right? Yes, yes. and that you sat in the bucket seat behind the driver in car 2, correct? Yes. And that during car 2, in that 2 minutes, you were talking to Mr. Majors and just let me and let me start again. Sorry about this one, guys. And that during car 2, in that 2 minutes, you were talking to Mr. Majors about just let me see the phone, right? Yeah, I guess along those lines. And you kept talking about these text messages, right? Yes. And according to you, Mr. Majors then shoved you back into the bucket seat, correct? Yes. And show us the gesture, how he did that. Objection asked and answered. Yeah, yep, this was done. We went over it yesterday as well. Um, she did actually go through this. He shoved you by touching your body, correct? Yes. And that car too is where you testified that you grabbed Mr. Major's jacket or shirt. I believe it was that time. That's what I remember. It was a time in the car, yeah. Miss Jabbari, both of the car doors are open, correct? Yes. And Mr. Majors had just gotten in the car about 1 second before the second car door opens on the passenger side, right? I don't know the time. If that's what you saw, then yeah. Miss Chowdhury, if we could go back and see it again, so the judge intervenes and just say move on to the next question. This is most likely why Danny was saying that they were in a hurry to get this case done and over with, which would make sense because the judge has done this numerous times. Actually, just keep saying move on to the next question, etc. The driver is shutting the door, and the passenger side door opens in about 1 second. Correct? I believe it's longer than that. I believe it's longer than 1 second. Is what Grace responds to that. And the passenger side is opening as cars are moving and going up traffic. Correct. Sorry, going up the screen. Right. Yes. And the car door is opening in front of moving cars. Right. Yeah, I guess so. That's Mr. Majors getting out of the car. Right. I believe so. And this is the part where you were grabbing him on his jacket or shirt. Correct. Yeah. Well, I grabbed him once. As you testified yesterday, you grabbed him with your right hand, correct? Objection not in evidence. Just ask the question. No. You didn't testify about that yesterday? No, no. Just ask the question. Which hand? Which hand was it? He was leaving on the left side of the door. I just recall grabbing a jacket. I don't believe, I wouldn't want to say 100% either hand. I wouldn't want to say play. So they play the video. That's Mr. Majors trying to get out of the car, right? And Mr. Majors just stepped into. There's no answer. Sorry. Just ask the question. That's what Judge instructs Priya to do. Priya asked the question saying that was Mr. Majors getting out of the car, correct? Yes. And that's the time where you were grabbing onto his jacket and shirt, right? Well, his outer layer of clothing. And Mr. Majors just stepped onto the little railing, like foot railing, and stood up to try to get out of the car, correct? It would appear so, yes. And you're right hand dominant. I'm right handed, yes. So glad we got here. Sidebar for a second, because this was something that I was stumped with for quite a while. I wanted to know which hand she was. So if going back to the Major's interview and the way he reflexed, going to his side of the face, yeah. Someone's right hand would do that to you. He was actually going this way. And that stuck out to me because Grace doesn't say that he slapped, she slapped him. And like I keep saying, she minimized every single behavior that she's had all through this transcript reading. That's what I've been noticing the most. There is some truth to what she says, but I'll be damned if you say she's telling the whole truth. No, I don't think she is telling the whole truth. I think there's a lot more that happened in that car, and how the jury even land on this verdict is beyond me. Harassment I would have accepted, but because of the way that it's written, etc., I would have accepted harassment, but assault, I don't think that's even sufficient here. I don't see it, because And also going back to the comment in regards to going back to the testimony in regards to the moving traffic, etc. If this was the moment that Jonathan had lifted her up to put into the car, that would make sense. I would have no problem because there is oncoming traffic. If he done it here, it would make a bit more sense because there was not much going on in car one, but there was a lot going on in car two, and it seems to me, based on the events in car one, if you were to aggregate it, it seems to me that his motive was not. It seems to me that the jury had enough cause to decide it was reckless and it wasn't intentional, because in car two it's definitive that it wasn't intentional lifting or aggravated harassment, so to speak. That's clear in car two. That would contextualize all of that, um because the lifting had already occurred, but the time that it would make sense to do it again, you can see as the events went on that he just wanted, his motive was to actually get away from him, and just wanted to get away from the whole situation. He was always wanting to do that. Holding someone, calling that intentional, or trying to say that he was, at this moment, doing it all with intent to prove psychological abuse, is far-fetched to me. And that is again in reference to the stream that I done with Angelina Davis, because I've been pondering a lot on that stream. I've been pondering a lot, trying to believe how someone can intentionally psychologically abuse someone in the context of cheating. That doesn't like at what point can you actually say, look, I don't want to talk about this right now, I don't want to have this conversation, you get like this or something like that. We don't know what, because he didn't testify. He probably would have testified to what I'm saying, because if this is a pattern of behavior, and I really hope he did testify, but if this was a pattern of behavior from Grace to be a certain type of way, and we got a glimpse of that when we went through Sag Harbor testimony, I think on part 8 or 9, I believe it's part 9, when we went through that testimony about how she was controlling his schedule and all of those things, and planning her life around his schedule. And when he pushed back, she grabbed wine and went out onto the beach in a strop. If that's how she gets, just by, hey, don't do this, what's to say in regards to cheating? These are just my 2 cents. Make sure that you like this video. Is going to help us out so much with the algorithm. Make sure that you hit that share button, share it to your social media that you're active on, X or Twitter, whatever it's called these days, Facebook, Instagram, whatever option is available. Let people know about this stream. And of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It's going to help us grow this channel so much, so that we can do more and more of this. Thank you so much to everyone that's tuning. Once again, we're going to go right back into the cross exam. So it says that that's okay. Priya goes asks a question saying that's you that flipping heck, that's you that got out of the car after Miss Majors, right? Whew. Yes. That's Mr. Majors walking away from you back towards those people, right? Yeah, we're both walking out of the car and walking towards Chloe. Chloe just pulled away from Mr. Majors, right? Yeah. As you're following Mr. Majors, I went with him, and can you repeat that? I don't quite understand what you mean. You were following Mr. Majors out of the car, correct? Yeah. And you were walking behind him, right? Yeah. We just saw Chloe pull you out of the path that you were walking on, right? Yes. Mr. Majors, the front of his entire white top is showing now, correct? It will appear so, yes. And that's because you just ripped the buttons of his coat, right? Yeah. We were about to watch, what we're about to watch is car 3, correct? Yeah. This is the 3rd time you're going to get in the car. This is another view of what we just saw in car 2. So that's Mr. Majors getting out of the car, stepping onto the floor, right? Yes. And that's Mr. Majors who just helped you out of the car, correct? I wouldn't say that. No. Let's go back to this. Actually say that's Mr. Majors helping you out of the car. So I'm not sure what they're referring to. I really hope that Jams actually did testify. His testimony could again. I know he didn't plead. Again, I'll keep saying I know he didn't plead self-defense or anything like that. But come on, at least juror, you can look at this and be like, well, I don't need him to plead self-defense. Wait, helping is it? Yeah, he did help you. You were just hanging on to him. He did help you. What are you talking about? Anything, discredit, anything to make him look bad. Discredit. That's basically it. Um, okay. Now that's sorted out. Let's go back to the questioning. Priya goes on to question and saying that's Mr. May just walking another angle, and that's you walking after him. Chloe and Chloe pulling you aside, right? Yes, yeah. It's another angle of what we just saw. Mr. May just walking back to the car with his white top exposed because the buttons are ripped off his coat. Correct? Yes. Wow. I don't know what the objection was. Let's move on. That's Max in the white hat, Shams in the gray, and at this time the car door on the passenger side is open. Correct? Yeah. Yes. That is a better angle for you. And on the left side, on the driver's side, Chloe is standing there. On the right side, Shams and Max are standing there. Both of the car doors are open. Correct? Yes. And you and Mr. Majors are both inside the car now, right? It would appear to be true. Yes. And part this is the part where you testified earlier you couldn't remember where either of you were seated, right? Yes, yes. And at this time Mr. Majors is asking you to take hearsay most likely, and it was sustained. At this time the car's available for you to take anywhere you want to go, correct? You understood that, right? What did I understand? What you just said or what he said? Rephrase the question, instructs the judge. So prayer refers to the question saying, asking, at this time, you knew the car would take you wherever you wanted to go, right? I wouldn't say that. Right now, I remember like eventually that's what I learned. He said, yeah, I wouldn't want to say yes exactly at this point. At this time, Mr. Majors told you. Objection, ASA, most likely. You wanted Mr. Majors to come home with you to the apartment, right? I'm not sure. I remember what I wanted at that point in terms of that. Well, did you want him to leave and go to a hotel? I think I wanted him to explain his infidelity. That I remember. That doesn't mean you go ripping his clothes off though. But what about wanting him to leave and go to a hotel? Did you want that? No, she didn't answer that question. Yes, good on you, Josh. Do you understand the question? No, sorry. Ask the question again. So basically, the question ask again, saying, at that time, did you want Mr. Majors to leave you and go to a hotel by himself? No, I imagine I wanted him to stay and talk about what he'd done. Again, she's frightened for her life with this man, and that's the infidelity. Yes, not the violence, not all those things, just the infidelity. This guy, never mind. Miss Jabari, were you able to see in that video, right? Right there, that Miss Majors just got out of the car on the left. I actually wasn't sorry, I didn't see that. Go back. So Max is standing with the white hat on the left of the car, and Chloe is also standing on the left side of the car, correct? I believe so, yes. Did you see Mr. Majors got out of the car? I did. And he's now walking out of the car, away from the car, down the screen. You saw that, right? I did see that. Yes, this is the beginning of the entry to Lucy's. Correct? Do you recognize that? Yes, correct. We're all done with the cars. All the cars are done, sir. I don't want to repeat testimony. Let's move on. I think we are at the club now. Good call, Judge, because I also was done with the car, but good. The clarification was needed. Miss Jabari, did you just see you just saw yourself come into the club, right? Yes, and you were showing a wrist stamp to one of the people who works at the club, correct? It would appear to be that, yeah, your hair is back in a bun there, correct? Correct. So you retied into a bun by that time. It looks like that. Yes, no difficulty to the hand must be noted. Um, that's Chloe, you, Max, and Shams coming into the club, right? Yes. That's Chloe coming down. That's you. You were just right, using the right rail, correct? The rating on the right. I wasn't looking. I wasn't looking at my hand. You could go back and I could confirm. So I think we do have the club photos here. Sorry, club footage. So we can play that. Um, I think it's, yeah, that's Max. I'm unsure who Shams is. I don't think that this is not the rating. Yeah, I think that's Grace there, and she was holding with would be a left hand most likely at this point. That's her left hand. If she's coming this way, no, she's coming this way. Our right hand would be this side. It's coming this way. Yeah, okay, so she is using her right hand to go down the railing. Yeah, no, I'm so confused with this. Left, left on this side. So that's her left hand. That she's using this side. If she's coming towards me, left will be here. Left back, right back. So right back, left back, right back. No, left back here, right back here. Okay, so that's how I understand these things, football terms. Anyway, so that's our left hand that she's using on that side. So back into the transcript. I don't know why it took me that long. Apologies. It's been a long day today. I'm not gonna lie. Um, been a long day editing. The rating on the right, correct? Yes. And that's you holding the rating, right? Yes, with your right hand. Oh, all that is pointless. Oh, she says it was a right hand. So I really need to work on my perception, on my understanding of these. You know. Anyway, moving on. That's Chloe on the screen, correct? Yes, and that's you, all of us. And you just brush your hair on the right side of your head behind your right ear with your right hand, right? Can you go back? That there's a lot going on. That's Chloe, and that's you brushing your hair, correct? Yes, with your right hand behind your right ear, above my head, not my hair. Let's actually go look at that. I don't know what you mean by above our head. That's Max. That's Shams. I did not see her brush. It should be here. No, it's not there either. I still haven't seen her brush her hair. Maybe it's here. I think that's them there. Yeah, that's her there. Um, okay, they were talking. Okay, I don't see any brushing of the hair. So let me read on, see what's happening above my head. That okay, so it says no. I don't see. Maybe I missed it or something like that, but I don't see it. I don't see the brushing. I just see them taking selfies. Most likely missed it. Yeah, most likely missed it. All right, I'll just chalk it up as me missing it. Let's see what the transcripts uncover. So it says that's you, Chloe Max Shams, walking for another door. Miss Jabbari, can you please point to yourself in this video? You can see me through the kind of square. That's you, correct? Say that again. If we could just put part of the screen up for the record, describe the screen. So Ms. Jabbari just indicated from the right about a fourth of the way in the screen, about the middle of the screen. Is that correct? And the figure that appears in a box, is that correct? Yes. So prosecution agrees. That's Chloe standing there with you, right? The blonde. Yes. Ms. Jabbari, is that you with the coat over your right hand? Yes, yes. Over your hand, right? Sorry, not right hand. Over your hand, right? Yes, yes. She agrees. That's you with your coat over your right arm, correct? I believe so. Yes. And that is your handbag that you had a right hand, um that you had your right hand in, correct? Yes. So this is perfectly established that Grace has as um Grace's properties has been returned to her, and I believe this is, I'm not sure if this is the part that they're referring to. I'm not sure if this is the part that they're referring to, but I believe that's that. Yeah, that's what we're talking about here. The coat and the purse, the handbag, etc. All of that. That's what they're referring to, and I think they're leaving Lucy's now. This is 3 o'clock. So anyway, going back to the cross exam, says, and you were holding the bag with your left, correct? It looks that way. Yes, both hands, I think. And you're reaching in with your right to retrieve something, correct? Yes. That is you using your fingers to pick out a credit card, correct? Using my hand and my finger, yes. Okay, so this is most likely back at the bar, if I'm not mistaken. Most likely back at the bar. That's you holding your credit card in your right hand, right? I believe so, yes. And that's you talking to Shams and Chloe, correct? Yes, that is your hand on top of the bag there, correct? Yes. That's you laughing, correct? Yes. Yeah. You're leaning in to talk to the bartender, right? Right there to order champagne, correct? Yeah, I was ordering a at drink. I don't think she means to say at, but yeah, ordering a drink. So so leaning in. Yeah, it was likely here. Yeah, that's it. That's it there. So that's what they're doing. Um, I think that's Holly there. That's Grace there. All right. Going back to the transcript, or the cross exam at this point. And you're leaning in because the club is very loud, right? I would assume so, yes. Well, you were there, weren't you? Objection, argumentative. Yep, then be argument, just ask the question. Sorry, was it loud? Yes. You've now opened the menu with both hands, correct? Yes. And you and Chloe are selecting something off the menu, right? Yes. And it's the bottle of champagne that you are selecting, right? Yes. That's the champagne you're going to pay for with Mr. Major's credit card, correct? No, she could explain. Go ahead. Yeah, the card I used that he gave me. Yes. The card had his name on it, correct? Yes. And he paid the bill for that card, correct? Yes. Miss Jabari, you just brushed the hair behind the right back of your ear back with your left hand there, correct? Yes. And your left hand went directly behind your earlobe, didn't it? No, I don't believe so. We could rewatch it. Yeah. No, I believe it was just brushing like across my hairline. Did that hurt when you did that? I wasn't focusing on pain. I was just trying to have a nice time. So it didn't hurt. Speculation or mischaracterization, most likely. Miss Jabari, that's you dancing, correct? Yeah, not very well. Sidebar for a second. This is very slick because what she's doing is saying that she was feeling, without saying that she was feeling pain. She hasn't said all through this. I hope you guys notice this. She actually hasn't said yes. I definitely was feeling pain. All she keeps saying was I wasn't focusing on it. I wasn't doing this. It's like it's dancing around the question. It's not really answering the question directly. It's just basically saying I may, most likely, I may or may not be feeling pain, but because I wasn't focusing on it, I wouldn't know. It's basically how I'm interpreting all of that, which is strange to me because if this was pain is pain, pain is pain. If you feel pain, you're going to vocalize that feeling. Most likely, you're gonna say, "Look, it was hurting. I just wanted to get on with my life. I was in pain." But because she said that she started feeling the pain earlier when she got back to the house, because she said that, I firmly believe he locked her in to say the things that she's saying now because it would be impeachable. It, it would make her not seem credible. But already in my head, she isn't credible. Daisy Bow, thank you so much, Daisy, for returning. Thank you so much. Welcome back to the stream. Daisy says if you go back to when she was going down the stairs using the rail, she did brush her hair back. All right, let's do that. Let's do that. I think the stream. All right. Don't forget to also fast forward the stream. Oh, I see. Okay, okay. That's okay. That was subtle. I don't know. I missed that. But yeah. So she says that she was going brushing the top of her hair. Makes sense why she was saying that. But the point has been made. If you had a gash as big, oh, I don't think, did I share it? I did. Oh, I didn't share it. My bad. I didn't even share it. Okay, so I didn't even share it. So yeah, I'm sharing it now. Sorry about that, guys. I should have. Yeah, I thought I shared it, but yeah. So that's the hair flicker there, as you can see. But the point has been established. If there was no blood, it wasn't stuck to your ear. If you did do that, you should feel something here, but you didn't. As you were doing that. So okay, so thank you so much for pointing that out, Daisy. I appreciate you. It was a few seconds before they walked into a door. In the door, sorry. So thank you for that. Also, yes, per usual, do not forget to like this stream. Do not forget to also share the stream on your social media handles or whatever social media platform you use. I use X. You can follow me on that. My handle is literally on the screen right now. Check me out on there. I do constant updates in regards to legal cases, etc. You can also check out the channel for interviews. We have an interview dropping tomorrow. Watch out for that. You can also catch the live streams that we've done. All the work that we've done is laid out in a neat little playlist form or podcast form on the YouTube space. So you can go check that out, and also go on www.drheinz.info. It should be on your screen right now. I'm trying to, yeah, it's on your screen. It's on your screen. But yeah, we're gonna go back into the cross exam and see what went on. Right. So, Miss Jabari, that's you dancing, correct? Yeah, not very well. And that's you reaching back into the bag, correct? I cannot tell, to be honest. Miss Jabari, do you remember what time that was happening? No, not the precise time. I don't. You've just switched your coat from your right to your left, and you just reach for the pen, right? Yes. and now you're signing for the bill with your right hand. Yes. And you just indicated with your right hand holding up 4 fingers that you need 4 champagne glasses. I missed that, but I believe so. So, sidebar for a second. I'm just going to do a quick sidebar. The reason why I'm sidebarring here is because it just popped into my head in regards to her testimony, in regards to when she felt the pain for her hand, and also Chloe's Zellner's testimony. The interesting part about Chloe Zellner's testimony is that she complained of the hand pain when they were in the club. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. If this girl was drinking and she went, like, again, if the jury concluded on this, that's wrong. That's wrong, because in my opinion, that's wrong. If she was complaining at the start of the night, that makes sense. No doubt, no complaints. But she was able to do all of this. There is no way she's able to do all of this fine without complaints. But yet, when she went to the bathroom, because this is what Chloe testified to, when she went to the bathroom and she came back, she complained that her hand was hurting. You're telling me that she couldn't have just done something to her hand, or at that point, or something like that, or just accidentally hit something as she was walking to the bathroom, anything? How can you then say, oh, it's hurting because Jonathan did it? But she was able to do this without complaints. So that's part of my reason for believing that again, it's not, I don't think the jury ruled guilty and put their finger or the ear injury to Jonathan. I don't think that's what happened. I think if they requested for Chloe's testimony one more time, they should have stuck out, because Priya laid the foundation beautifully, and she let everyone know that she was doing all of these things. If she was doing all these things and then later complains about her finger hurting, one, it's likely related to the activities that you were doing that would, hurt the finger. So at this point, just to let me clear, I'm playing devil's advocate for the jury. If they were to believe that Jonathan caused those injuries, they could also conclude that, okay, she may not have felt it, but after paying for the credit card, using a pen, signing the bill, doing all those things with her fingers, that's when it became apparent to them that, yeah, that's when it became, like, because she's putting stress on it. So yeah, logical thing would be, hey, it's caused from the car. I'm saying that's just simply, that requires so many things to occur before you feel that pain. That's all I'm saying. And it negates her point of feeling the pain when she got back to the house. It negates it completely. So like, this is why I feel like that is they didn't find it from the hand, because you have to jump through leaps and bounds to justify it, especially when you met with all this counter evidence to say she was doing this, she was doing this, she was doing this without complaints. But that's where I'm coming from. I personally think is the neck thing, that they just were, okay, cool, we don't have anything else. Don't get me wrong, I think that they just wanted an excuse to just pin it on him, anything. So they just looked at the one that would be the path of least resistance. There was no resistance. As far as I'm reading here, there was no clawback or fight back in regards to the neck. There was none. So they just felt, okay, we just go with that one, because there's so much here for the finger, there's so much here for the ear. If those were the only injuries, I believe firmly he may have gotten not guilty, in my opinion, because there's so much here that would cause reasonable doubt. Like, you couldn't clear it, in my opinion. But I personally believe that they just saw the neck and just went, yep, that would do. We don't have any doubt about that. We saw the video. We could reasonably conclude that's the case. But that's just my 2 cents. Back to the cross exam. There's your signing with the bill with your right hand, and you just put up 4 fingers. Do you see that? It's very blurry. Let's see if you see. We'll keep playing. Did you see that there? I see my hand going up. Yes. Ms. Jabari, are you having trouble there figuring out where to sign, right? Form overruled. Do you understand the question though? So that's what the judge asked. I do. I don't know the answer. I think it's probably a mixture of, all right, if you don't know the answer, move on. Ms. Jabari, that is you putting your right hand back into your bag there, correct? Right? Yes. And just to quickly the reason why the judge quickly moved on, this is I've never been in a quarry in my life, just so that I put it out there. But what the reason why the judge probably did that is because he's the one that asked the question, or I think he's the one that asked the question. Yes, he's the one that asked, do you understand the question? She answered, I do. I don't know the answer. It's probably a mixture of he perceived it likely as it's going to go to speculation. So he says, if you don't know your answer, move on. So don't speculate, basically. That's him basically trying to keep everything fair and balanced so that the information that comes out is reliable and not something that would, cause more confusion to the jury. That's what that's what I think. Anyway, and you're doing that while you're talking to Shams, correct? It looks like that, yes. Your hand is in your bag. Your right hand is in your bag there, and you're laughing. And now, don't come and ask questions. Are you laughing? You're laughing there, right? Yes, it looks like that. Like I am. You're holding both phones at this time, right? You have one phone in your right hand and the other phone in your left hand. Yes, correct. Ms. Jabari, you are using one of the phones with your right hand in this, correct? I think so, yes. And you're looking at your phone, right? Yes. Now you picked up the champagne in your right hand, correct? Yes. And you and Chloe are seen on the screen holding champagne, and you just took the champagne in your right hand and clinked the glasses with somebody, right? I think so, yes. And then you're taking a sip here, right? It's hard to tell. It's very blurry. We'll keep watching. You just used your right hand to sweep your hair behind your head again, right? Yeah, I think so. Again, it's hard to tell, but if you say so, now you're putting something back into your hand, into your bag with your right hand, right? Yes. You just took champagne in your right hand, correct? Yes. And proceeded to into dance floor, right? Yes. And then brush your hair back with your right hand one more time, right? Yes. And this is the DJ booth at the club, right? Yes. Pause. You're actually going to have to go back. May I approach to the screen to point? You want to go up there? Can I use my finger for a second and come back? There's too many people for me to describe it out. She could ask a question. Is she see if she knows exactly what you're talking about? Miss Jabari, that was the judge giving instruction to prayer. Miss Jabari, do you see yourself at the bottom right of the screen yet? No. Um, Priya Chowdhury goes on, sir, move the mouse to the right and up 2 inches, like you're talking to the associate. That's you, isn't it? If you say so, I'm sorry, it's very blurry. Objection, judge. If she doesn't know, do you know if that's you? I don't know. I can't tell at all. Okay. If you keep your eye on that image and let us know whether you could say whether it's you or not, watch that image, okay? Watch that image. Okay. Were you able to identify yourself there? It could be me. It's very hard to tell. I'm sorry. Sir, please move them out. Blah blah blah. Keep moving on. That's you, isn't it? It could be. I mean, it could be. It's very blurry in the image. You were dancing near the DJ, both at the club, weren't you? Yeah, I think that the table was just behind a few meters there. So, all right, let's. So this is. I don't think we have it here. No, we don't have the DJ video. We don't have the DJ video. Right. So, Ms. Jabari, do you see yourself at the bottom of the screen, bottom right of the screen? Sorry, at this point I can't. No. Can you see yourself at the bottom right of this frame? Do you see the blouse that you're wearing? I think I could see that. Kind of has the same shirt I was wearing. Yes, that would be your right hand at the bottom of the screen, holding hands with who we can't see off screen, right? Potentially, it's very blur. It's very blurry. Blurry. I think it's meant to say blurry, but I don't know what the core reporter typed up here. What's the timestamp? They moved on. All right. This is the bar again, right? Yes. And you've returned to the bar with Chloe in this, right? Yes. And you're laughing, talking, objection, overruled. Okay. Yes, I am. You're getting a refill of the champagne, correct? Yes. How long? How long was it between your first glass and this refill? I don't know. You just grabbed the champagne with your right hand, correct? Yes. Ms. Jabari, just to be clear, you were the blonde person at the bottom of the middle of the screen, correct? Standing next to the bar? Yes, I think so. Well, that's Chloe standing in front of you. Yeah, right? You just get an answer to the question, so it's clear for the record. So that's Chloe facing you in the screen, right? Yeah. And someone has their hand on your left shoulder, correct? Yes. Is the bartender pouring shots, correct? Pouring something. I'm not sure what. Come on, my guy. Ms. Jabari, this is the bar with ice available, correct? Yes. And you didn't ask the bartender for ice that night, did you? Objection sustained. Form, most likely form. You testified that you were icing your finger at the club, right? Yeah. I believe maybe Chloe or someone, or I was just holding it against the cold glass. But I remember being aware of the pain, thinking I need cold. It's all over the place at this point. I'm not gonna lie, because then, okay, moving on. And as we see here, you haven't asked the bartender for ice, have you? Now the question, ice for what? For your finger? Can you repeat the question? Yes. As we see on the video at the bar, you have not asked the bartender for ice for your finger, have you? I have not, sorry. That's your right hand touching your chest, correct? Yes. Now we see the bartender pouring shots, correct? Yes. That's Chloe, Max, and you, correct? Chloe and me. I don't know who the other person is. It could be Max. You just put your right hand on Chloe's shoulder, correct? I can't really tell. If you could press play, maybe yeah. Right hand on Chloe's arm, and your left is holding a champagne, correct? Yes. You just took the shot off the bar with your right hand, correct? I did. And you moved the shot in front of you, correct? Yes. That is the tequila shots that you remember doing. Is that right? I remember, yes. You just reached and grabbed the lime of the bar, correct? Yes. And you moved the portion of the lime from the bar in front of you, correct? Yes. And you did that also with your right hand, correct? I did, yes. And that is your open right hand reaching for the shot, correct? In the bottom of the screen. I don't know. I don't know what's in my hand. Yes, the shot. You are cheering with the other people. You are cheersing. You are cheersing. Cheersing. I don't know. Okay, with the other people with your right hand doing the shot, correct? I am. Yes, Ms. Jabari. How long was this before you claimed that your finger was broken? Objection. Rephrase the question. I sustained. How long was this after you got a car after car one? I don't know exactly. A couple of hours, 2 hours, maybe an hour and a half. I don't know exactly. How long were you at the club? At the club, I think about 2 hours. Yeah, I think I can't remember exactly. Do you remember what portion of the time you were at the club? You did shots. I'm unclear what you mean by that. During the time you were at the club, you don't know when you were doing the shot. Is that right? I don't really know what you mean. Was it right when you got there? Was it in the middle of your time there? Was it when you were leaving? Objection, relevance, maybe relevance. It was during my time at the club. I had a shot. That shot, yeah, I don't really understand. Sitting here today, do you recall if you did that shot right when you got to the club in the middle of the time at the club, or as you were leaving leaving in the club. In the middle of the time at the club is what I believe. Yeah. Miss Jabari, we just saw you wipe the back. We just saw you, Miss Jabari, we just saw you wipe the back, wipe your mouth with the back of your right hand, correct? Yeah, I think so. And we just saw you reach for the lime off the bar, correct? Do you want to see it again? No, I'm sure I did. Well, no. We need to actually testify. If we could go back, this is you taking the shot, putting the glass down, wiping your mouth with your right hand, picking the no, ask the question, don't narrate. Miss Jabari, you just did the shot with your right hand, correct? Yes. And you put the shot back down with your right hand, correct? Yes. And you wiped your mouth with your right hand, correct? With the back of my right hand, I did, yes. Then you did then you picked up the lime with your right hand, correct? Yes. You put the lime into your mouth with your right hand, correct? Yes. And then after, did you suck did you suck on the lime next? Correct? I believe so. And then you remove the lime from your mouth with your right hand, correct? Yes. And then you put the rest of the lime back on the right back onto the bar with your right hand, correct? Yes. And this is while your left hand is holding the glass of champagne, correct? Yes. You should be complaining. I should be hearing complaints at this point, but no. Miss Jabari, you said previously it could have been one or two shots that you did in the club, right? Yeah, I can't remember. Of course you can't. You're drunk. And you don't know if this is the first or second shot you did at the club, right? I really don't know what to. I really don't want to say 100%. You just transferred the champagne from your left to your right hand to continue drinking it, correct? Yes. And now you're holding the champagne glass again in your right hand. Is that right? Yes. But then you ask for ice. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guy. I'm sorry, man. And you're dancing at the bar holding the champagne, correct? Yes. Miss Jabari, we just saw you come back to get your second refill of champagne. How many refills did you have of champagne that night? I believe that was it, but I would have to have my memory refreshed. You could have had more champagne than that. Objection, speculation, likely speculation. Sustained. Sitting here, do you know whether you had more champagne than that? Again, I would have to have my memory. We didn't order another bottle, so whatever was in the bottle we drank. You finished the bottle of champagne. Speculation again, sustained, most likely speculation. Anyway, the group finished the bottle of champagne. Yes. Of that, how many glasses did you have? I believe it was like one and a bit, but again, I would have to have my memory refreshed to say. Well, judging by the fact that on Sag Herber, she actually, I think it was champagne that she grabbed rather than wine. Considering the events of that, I had a hard time believing that she had only just one glass. She took a whole bottle. I have a hard time believing she took just one glass here. This is the DJ booth again. Move the mouse, etc. That's you, isn't it? Could you play a bit more? Yeah, yes. I could see myself, yes. You see that's you? That's your head that the mouse is on, right? Yes. And we just saw you holding hands with somebody that we can't see on screen, right? I don't know what I was holding, but my arm was extended. Yes. That's your right arm that's extended, right? Yes. What's timestamp 3:48? So and the timestamp on the surveillance video is 2:27 a.m. and 50 seconds. If you could go back just a bit to see it again, you're dancing there, right? Yes. That's you at the bottom of the screen, right? Yes. That was you just being twirled on the dance floor with your right hand, correct? Yes. That's Chloe next to you, right? Yes. And you and Chloe are dancing. And is that Shams? I'm not sure. I think so, but I don't know for sure. At the bottom of the screen on the right, that's Chloe trying to take a selfie with you, correct? Characterization. What's the objection? Ask the question again, commands the judge. Priya asks, that's Chloe with her arm extended there, right? Yeah. And that's Chloe now holding a camera. I'm sorry, a phone in her hand, right? Yes. And she's extended her hand, correct? Yes. She's trying to take a selfie with you, right? It looks that way, yes. Move the mouse to right up, etc. Yeah, that's you with your right arm on Sham's neck, correct? Yes. This is the moment where the photos that we saw earlier from you at the club were taken, correct? I think so. Yes. And we see the timestamp. This is 2:28:45 in the morning, correct? Yes. This is just under 2 hours after you got out of the car after car one, correct? Okay, yes. Okay, so I'm just gonna start sidebar for a bit here. Daisy Bow says her old testimony is speculation. I guess so. I think so. I don't remember. I wasn't focused on the pain. The focus on the pain. I agree with the. I think so. I guess so. I don't remember and I wasn't focusing on the pain. Could be a factual account. I find the focusing on the pain part to be a bit more deflective than actually answering a question. So so it's just to me it's just underhanded. I think that she could have answered these questions directly if there was nothing more to it, if that makes sense. So clearly there is something more to this story that she's letting on, in my opinion. I don't know what to make of her testimony. I think she is very confusing. But yeah, it's just um I think also it must be said as well in regards to the ice. Again, I will keep saying this over and over again. In regards to the ice, if you needed ice, all of these things could not have been possible because I don't know, you'll be in pain. There will be a twinge on the video, something. But she was able to do all of this, and then she asked for ice for it's either the only way I can probably reconcile everything is it's either Chloe I assumed is for her hand because she saw it go red at that point. That's one. So she assuming the ice was for her hand rather than a drink, or Grace did actually tell Chloe what happened to her fingers, and then she says, yeah, she needed ice for her hand or whatever. Uh, um, she could also, just to correct myself, she could actually ask for the ice without sharing the intimate details of why she needed ice, etc. But for Chloe to say that she asked ice for her hand, to me suggests that, you know, she even looked at the hand and assumed that's what it will be for, or she was told something by Grace. Again, she's not obviously going to volunteer this information without being asked. So maybe she wasn't asked. And to be honest, even if she was asked, it will be objected to hearsay anyway. So it wouldn't have mattered. But I do think, looking at it logically, I do think it's more likely that she either assumed and just believed it's for the ice and testify what she testified to, or Chloe just told her about the events that happened as they grew closer. That's what I think. That's what I think personally. But yeah, don't forget to hit the like button of this. I'm gonna try my best to finish this transcript today, go through the whole cross today, so that we can go back and redirect on the next stream and do Nick Stick or whatever his name is. I keep forgetting his name. Strick, who is a data analyst from the NYPD. We can do those testimonies and bring a finale to the series that we've been doing. So I'll do my best to try and speed through this cross exam. So without further ado, hit that like button, hit that share button, let your friends know, let everyone know in regards to your stream. It really helps with the algorithm. Hit the like button, please, guys. And also don't forget to subscribe. It really helps us. And once again, it will really help the channel grow. So let's go back into the cross exam. On the bottom right, we can see you and Shams and Chloe posing for photos. We've seen it in this case already, right? Yes, that's you posing for another photo, and the time of day on the surveillance is 2:49:42, right? Yes. And Ms. Jabbari, you testified that just to the right is where the birthday party was, correct? No, I believe like up there, like around there was where they had the kind of area described. Judge asks prayer, most likely. Describe where that is. Prayer says, are you referring to the center of the dance floor? I am not. Like the right, where the mirrored looking wall is, they have a ton of tables and an area to sit around there. It wasn't near the DJ booth. It was the area I just said. So what she's showing here is her memory is pristine. Let's go back. Miss Jabbari, do you see yourself? You could see yourself standing in front of the DJ booth there, correct? Yes, I can. That is you in the middle of the screen, about a third of the way from the right, correct? Correct. You're talking to a DJ, right? Yeah, it would appear to be that. That is your right hand. You just put on the DJ booth, right? Yes. You're pointing to a DJ, correct? Yes. So let me try and actually find that TMZ article actually in regards to um I think it should be here. I'm not sure if they got the actual video. Nope, they don't have it. Right, I'm gonna keep looking. No, they were going through it. No, this is what we've seen already. I know I've seen the actual club video. I know I've seen the actual club video, but I can't. I've seen this video, not stills, but I've actually seen the video. I just can't remember where I actually saw it. Flip. This is helpful. Right. No time. Chat, if you know the video in question, let me know in the chat. You can post the link in the chat, and then I'll do my best to uh I- I'll blow it up on the screen. But right now I'm just gonna go back into the cross-examination. So let's go. Now you and the DJ are speaking directly to each other, correct? Yes. Ms. Jabbari, you just put something in your mouth, right? Yes, I did. Are you smoking there? It looks like I'm having a drag or cigarette. Yes. You're holding a cigarette in your right hand, correct? I can't tell, but maybe. Let's watch. You just pass something into to the DJ with your right hand, correct? Correct, yes. That the cigarette is in your right hand, correct? Yes, it is. It's still in your right hand, correct? I can't see right now. Yes, Miss Jabari, that's you dancing with your champagne in your left hand and a cigarette in your right, correct? I can't see. You just took a drag of the cigarette. Did you see it? Did you see that? I did not. No. Do you see that? Objection. Also answered. Most likely sustained, and that was sustained. Do you see it that time? I didn't know. I've seen it previously. That time I didn't. I'm sorry. We could keep playing it. It's an evidence. Don't make comments. Just ask questions. Uh, I just want to quickly just point out what prayer is doing can be seen by the jury in a bad light, especially when a judge is having to step in all the time. Could be seen. I'm saying that because I've seen commentary on the other trials that I've watched, like Deb V. Heard, for example, when I believe it was who was it? I believe it was Rottenborn. When in his line of questioning, I think they were making comments about that, and that popped into my head in regards to this. So, if this is how the judge is seeing it, the jury may infer that it's it's not really well played. Miss Jabari, do you just see yourself take a drag of cigarette there? I did. It's lit up in your hand in this scene, right? Yeah. It's in your right hand, right? Correct? Correct. What's the timestamp on that? Day 8:16. Miss Jabari, you're dancing at this time, right? Yes. Again, it's coming. It's coming. If you could play it slightly faster, what the judge was gonna do it again there was basically no comments, just ask the questions, basically. Miss Jabari, now you're dancing with your right hand on the DJ booth, correct? My right hand is touching the DJ booth. Yes. Can you go into the 6:15 of this video, Miss Jabari? That's can you move them? Okay, so housekeeping, etc. That's you, correct? Yes. Please watch yourself for the next 3 seconds. Miss Jabari, you just hit your head on the DJ booth, didn't you? Objection. I didn't. The court, she says she did not. Move on. Miss Jabari, we paused the video where the surveillance says it's 302, etc. Yes. Uh and this is the hostess stand that is present at the entrance and exit of the nightclub, right? I guess so, yes. And you just left the dance floor, correct? Yes. And you were now no longer on the dance floor, correct? That's what it means, leaving. That's correct, yes. That's you still drinking champagne, correct? Yeah. And that's Chloe with you, correct? Yes. Just to be clear, in this scene, your coat is over your left forearm, correct? Yes. And as we are looking at you, your right hand is the one holding your phone at this time, right? That's hard to tell. What do you mean hard to tell? Play, I would say both hands. Let me just quickly go to that. That's not both hands. I can see your right hand. I can see your left hand. It's not both hands. Your left hand is literally exposed. You see what I'm trying to say? Like, there is no way you are looking at this and then you're like, she just minimizes every single thing. Well, here your right hand is scrolling on the phone, correct? That's your thumb. My right thumb, yes. Now you're holding the phone one in your right hand, correct? Yes. And you have your other phone on the hostess stand, right? Yes. Now you're using your right hand to use the other phone, correct? My index finger, yes. You just picked up the phone with the right hand. Yeah, I did, yes. And you're still holding the phone in your right hand, both hands. Now left hand. Now you remove the other phone by reaching into your bag with your right hand, correct? Yes. So I think I um played the wrong part. I think it's this part here. Timestamp, I believe, was supposed to be 3 something. Yeah, 302. All right. Wrong part. Sorry guys. This was the discussion in question. So this was the so yeah. We didn't they covered over. Okay, so this is okay, so that is the both hands that she's referring to. Um okay, so that is the both hands that she's referring to. I mean, she was using a dominant hand. Again, you still don't need to fight it. The left hand was not exactly doing anything other than resting on the phone. Using both hands would be like this at the same time. I did not see that happen. We can rewind it because, of course, I've made a couple of mistakes on this stream. So I just want to be sure of this one that I'm not going crazy myself. Yeah, see what I mean? Like, our left hand is not exactly going on the phone. Okay, I'll give it to her. That's both hands. That's both hands. She was using both hands. Hands up. But yeah, we just went through the exchange. So there is a phone in each hand, correct? Yes. Miss Jabari, you are leaning against the bar area there. Yes, right? I am. Yes. And you just put the phone into the bag with your right hand, correct? Yes. Miss Jabari, you just brushed your hair behind your right ear back with your right hand, correct? No, I just brush against my head, my hair, my hair out of my way. And at this time, was your hair stuck to the cut here? Cut on your ear? I don't know. Did you feel it stuck? I mean, you're awake. You should feel this one. No, I didn't. Did you feel any blood when you moved your hand? You should. You should. I didn't touch behind my hair, so I didn't. But come on, not even a streak. You just grab Chloe's with your right hand. I did, yes. This is you leaving the club at 3:06:51, right? I believe so, yes. That's you walking up the stairs and holding the railing with your right hand, correct? Yes. That's you coming up another set of stairs and turning the corner, holding the railing with your right hand, correct? Yes. That's you putting your right hand on Chloe's shoulder, correct? Yes. Miss Jabari, that was you trying to go through the wrong door to exit, right? Objection, mischaracterization of form, and was sustained. That door, that all testifying even, that door that you were going through was not the exit, was it? It would appear not to be, no. So what was being established here is likely she was drunk and out of it. And I think that they are referring to this portion here. Yeah, she's out of it. Oh, yeah, yeah, she had to point. Yeah, they had to point at that, and she's bashing into the wall. Nearly walked into that guy. For reference, that's Holly, and this is Grace. To be honest, both of them are out of it. They both. I've seen this hug so many times. I don't know why you girls do this, but whenever you guys are drunk, you guys tend to be very touchy feely. 10 years nightclub experience. I really know what I'm talking about. Sidebar for a minute here. Jamia Solomon, welcome. I'm here for it. Welcome to the stream. Happy to see you here. Welcome back. The interview just for you, for you, I'm going to be posting it tomorrow. So I should once I have uploaded the interview with Megan Fox, who is an investigative journalist, I'm I'll put it in the communities tab so you guys can go find it there. It should be on your feed. She does. We do talk about Jonathan. We spoke because this interview was conducted on the blanking on the time on the date, but it was June. It was definitely June. I'm just blanking on the exact date. I think it was 30th of June to 2023, because it was done on the 30th of June 2023. I actually did get the unique opportunity to ask her in regards to the Rolling Stone article in regards to um nine uh alleged victims. That's the one. 9 alleged victims coming out against Majors. Why that's important is because when they're referring back to that article or the follow-up articles, it became 40 or something like that. Also, so that's interesting because I remember reading this article and it was just 9 people, you know, and over time it became from 9 to 40, etc. So that video serves as a great memento because I asked her in regards to this, and then her views in regards to hearing about unnamed sources, etc., is all in that interview. It's a great dissection of the game the media plays, and yeah, it's going to be up at 6:30. It's going to be up at 6:30 tomorrow. So you can see it. It'll be 6:30 UK time, so it'll be likely afternoon in New York or 1 o'clock in New York. So yeah, so that's the time it's going to be on. It'll be 6:30 evening for me, afternoon for some, morning for some. So but yeah, so that's for you, Jamia. Thank you so much, by the way, for tuning in once again. And I can't wait to release that interview. I really, really enjoyed the conversation. She really dissects how the media runs. It's really, really informative. So you can go check her out, Megan Fox, on her YouTube channel as well. It's Megan Fox Writer. You can also go check her out on pjmedia.com. She does a lot of court coverage in regards to domestic abuse, child abuse cases, all those things, the coverage that you don't really get to see, and she does it in such great detail. In fact, it's a crew of an interview, because not only is she an award-winning journalist, but she broke a story that went completely viral about an illegal resident that came to stay in the United States and was, our, being a Geppetto or a peta, or a nonce is known here in the UK, and the media was not reporting on it except for her. They were trying to spin it so many things, and she was the one that was actually correcting every single one of them and bringing out the facts. I think that's a coup, like, because the Gershon Fuentes is the name of the perpetrator. He he pled guilty to all these charges, and he's going to prison. So, and she was really behind that story, really here in the mainstream press, because they were trying to debunk her, calling it a hoax, and they couldn't do it. So, again, a really great interview, because I caught it at the time that that case was really heating up. We talked about that case. We talked about Jonathan Majors. We talked about Debt Be Heard, etc. Really great interview. I can't wait to really release it. Thank you so much, every single one of you, for that I've tuned in. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe button. Let's go into a cross exam one more time. Try and get this out of the way. If not, we'll be back on Monday next week to go through the remainder of this cross exam, because there's not that much to go. But I'll try my best to finish it off in this last 10 minutes, last 10-15 minutes, I would say. All right, so right back here. Oh, and of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button for more content that we have throwing up on this channel. So let's go back into the cross exam. So it says, that is you in the center of the screen, right? Me and Chloe. Yes. You are the one on the left of what we're looking at, right? Yes. In the same green and white shirt. Exactly. You're wearing and Chloe is the blonde woman on the right who's wearing the art top. Is that right? Yes. That's you bumping into the wall on the left, right? Objection. What would it be though? Testifying? Maybe testifying. You bumped into the wall on the left, right? Yeah, I think I just brushed past it. I was just looking at my phone. That's you hugging Chloe, correct? Yes. That is your right arm on her back, right? Yeah, that's correct. Yes. That is your right hand. That is your right arm that we see, correct? Yes. That is your right hand with which you're brushing Chloe's back, correct? Yes. And that is your right hand on Chloe's left shoulder, correct? Yes. That is you rubbing Chloe's back with your right hand, correct? Yes. We are going to see another angle of what Miss Jabbari, that is you that came out first, right? Yes. That is your right ear pressed against the right side of Chloe's head, correct? I can't tell you how close our heads are, but that is the right side of your head. That's the right side of my head, yes. That is your right hand on Chloe's shoulder. Yes. And the finger that we see with the ring on it is your ring finger, correct? Yeah, the one next to my little finger. Right. And so the middle finger is the one just above it, correct? Yes. That's you holding Chloe's forearm with your right hand, right? Yes. That was Chloe and you holding hands as you left. And that was your right hand, correct? Objection as to form, it was sustained. Just move on. You were touching Chloe's hand with your right hand as you left, correct? I was touching her arm, and then I was blocked by the pillar, or I was blocked by the pillar, the rest of the vision. Can we go back a little bit? But that was your right hand touching her arm on the way out, right? Yes, 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 yeah. Miss Jabari, that was. Can you tell us where we are? Okay, so they're having trouble locating. Okay, that was you brushing your hair with your right hand as you walked out, correct? Yeah, moving moving the hair off my face with my right hand, and that's 309 and 30 seconds. Miss Jabari, that this is outside of the club, right? That's you waiting for a taxi. Yes. That's you hailing a taxi. Yes. And that's the car you get in. Yes. And Miss Jabari, you just opened the car door. It appears to be a minivan, correct? I'm not sure. The door just slid back to open. Yes, yes, it is. Yes, yes. Now can now we can see it's a minivan, correct? Correct. Yes. This is the lobby of the Chelsea Mercantile, correct? Correct. Yes. That's you walking into the lobby, correct? Yes. Let's pause and end it there. Let's stop it there. Can I ask one question? Sure. Did Chloe ever send you a copy of that selfie that we saw you take with her on the dance floor? On the American phone, I believe she did, not immediately. Have we seen the photo in this case? Yes. The selfie? Oh, I don't know. I don't know what she sent me a photo, one of the photos. So maybe I misspoke then. I would have to check if it was a selfie or I don't know. Thank you, recess, all done, blah blah. So they're going back after recess are saying, Miss Jabari, that's you entering. You took a cab straight from the nightclub to the apartment, correct? Yes, that's you entering, correct? Yes. We just saw you put your right hand into the pocket of your coat, correct? Either my bag or my coat. That's you walking through the lobby, correct? Yes. There's a doorman sitting there, correct? Yes. And that's you getting into the elevator and you just push the elevator button with your right hand, correct? My right thumb, yes. You're holding the keys in your right hand, correct? I believe so. So your fingers are curled around the keys. Uh, I don't know. So yeah, you should know. Your fingers are curled around your keys, correct? I'm holding the key with my thumb and index finger. The way you're holding it right now, yeah. Let the record reflect the witness is holding her hand up with her thumb up, and the rest of her fingers curled. Oop. Oh, shoot. Okay. I think her index finger was curled and the rest of the fingers were extended. Bear with me, guys. I literally 1 second. Let me just plug this back. Oop. Oops. Oops. Sorry, 1 second, guys. Oh gosh. Right. Sorry about that, guys. Lights went off there. Lights went off. Okay, she actually. Okay, so we are right back. Okay, apologies for that little technicals there. Probably should have turned on the technical, but yeah. So right, which one is it? Let's just make sure. Just show us exactly. I had the keys held, and my hand was just relaxed. Yeah, it wasn't grasped as you can see. So next time. Getting used to this whole streaming thing. I'll get all these kinks out of the way. Chinks in my armor out of the way. So anyway, going back to the cross exam, it says, Miss Jabari, you walked out the elevator down the hallway and into the apartment, correct? Correct. And the next time you left the apartment was with the police and the paramedics, correct? Correct. Miss Jabari, you talked about what you did when you arrived home at the apartment, correct? Yes. You mentioned that you are taking your coat off and taking your shoes off, right? Yes. And you mentioned you were wearing high boots, correct? That night? Medium height, I guess. Not high. I don't know what you mean. How high up on your legs did your boots come? Not the heel size, the length of the boot. Yes. Should I show you my on my leg? Yes. Maybe about to the leg where my ankle strap is. Let the record reflect that. Let the record reflect the witness just indicated just above her ankle. Is that correct? So indicated. And you also testified once you returned home, being in a lot of physical pain. Is that right? Yes. In the sense of I knew I was in pain. I knew I was going to wake up in pain, just knowing how bodies work. But I was more upset. I was upset more with the infidelity. Okay. And this is the apartment that you have been living in for about 3 months, right? Yeah, I would say about 3 months. And your clothes were in this apartment, correct? I'm sorry, your clothes were in this apartment. Yes. And the bed and the bathroom upstairs in which you were found contained your own personal hygiene products, right? My toiletries, like that stuff. Yes. Yes. And you testified about taking the blue sleeping pills, right? Yes. And you said these were pills that were already in your apartment, right? Yes. And you are taking them on several other occasions, right? Yes. And these were blue pills in the white bottle, correct? I believe so. And they were just over the counter generic pills, right? Not over the counter, just on the shelf pills from CVS. Yes. You didn't need prescription for them, right? No, anyone could buy them, I think. I'm handing you what's been marked for identification as defense exhibit 138, 139, and 140. If we could just make sure we don't show the jury. Ms. Jabbari, do you recognize what's in defense? What's been marked as defense exhibit 138, 139, 140? Yeah. What is that? I believe that's the sleeping tablets. I haven't seen them since that night. So I think so. Yes, you are taking them previously, correct? Yes, yes. Do you do these photographs depict the sleeping tablets you took that night? I believe so. Yes. I didn't take these photos. At this time, I offer what's been marked as defense exhibit 138 and 149 to into evidence. Any objections? Couple of questions, Judge. Ask a question, Ms. Jabbari. Do you know whether these are the exact type of sleeping pills? I don't know. Let me just ask because are they pills or bottles? Let me give you a copy. Please, does this pill bottle contain the pills that you took? I didn't take this photo, so they look similar. I feel it's impossible to say this is 100% them, but I didn't take this photo, if that's okay to say. So you can't say for sure this is a fair and accurate depiction of, well, the the bottle that holds the pills. It looks what I think is the same, but again, it's hard. I didn't take the picture, but they were blue pills I took. And if these are from CVS, then that's right. Because I definitely just got them from CVS. Because you don't know when this picture was taken. No idea. All right, I would object. What grounds? They haven't laid a proper foundation that these are speaking specifically to DX139, and this is the same bottle or a similar type of pill that was even taken. That's the same for the 138 and with regard to 140 as well. All right, ask some more questions. So now they're going back to lay the foundation, and this is where we're gonna stop. Thank you so much, every single one of you, for tuning in onto today's stream. I just to recap what's been going on, we have established that the Jonathan's clothes were ripped from the altercation in the car, that the whites of the clothes were showing. Priya has highlighted this point. We established that when Grace went into the bar, she did complain that she needed ice for the finger. Ice, that she was asking for ice. She testified, I believe, that it was for the finger, that she wasn't focusing on the pain, and but she knew, since testimony gone on, she knew that she was in pain. We have seen Priya ask questions in regards to this particular finger and her finger usage, all of this. That and not once did we hear throughout all of this testimony, not once did we hear any complaints of pain or anything like that. So and we saw the CCTV in tandem with the transcript of leaving the club and and going back home. So we're now going into the next portion in which she is testifying in regards to the pills that she was taking, which we will do on Monday. I will set the stream up so that you guys can have your notifications on for Monday, so that when we go live, you can join us. But again, we are going to adjourn here and call this and put the stream to a close. Thank you so much, every single one of you that are tuned in. Don't forget to hit that like button. If you're watching this back on replay, consider sending us a super thanks. Or if you're watching it now, consider sending us a super chat for the stream. To any amount that you feel is of value to whatever value that you may have received here. But yeah, in regards to the interview that we're releasing tomorrow, do keep a watchful eye out for that. I will be communicating this and what's going to be on the interview and when it is released in the community tab. So do keep an eye on that. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you can get all these updates, get notified for whenever we release videos. We do deep dives on this channel. We cover legal court cases, and we also cover cases and we also we do everything legal related here, is the simplest way to put. But mainly the channel was founded on deep dives. We are doing a case that is going to be a massive a case of massive interest, which is the Courtney Claney case. Courtney Claney is the OnlyFans, dubbed as the OnlyFans murderer, who killed her boyfriend Christian Obumseli, and is now claiming domestic violence. And she's claiming that she was acting in self-defense because he was a threat to her life, etc., and she was fearful for her life. That case is going to be filmed because it's in Miami. But most importantly, what's important to know is she Courtney Claney has hospitalized Christian Obumseli twice before his death. So I've done a deep dive on this channel. You can go find that out. It's all there. It's on the channel, the OnlyFans murderer. And you can also check out the previous live streams that we've done. It's all in a neat little package. It will be under the Heinz Legal Lab, specifically for the OnlyFans murderer. It will be under the Heinz Legal Lab. Once again, thank you so much, everyone that has tuned in. I hope you guys have a great day or evening wherever you are at. Daisy, Jameer, Solomon, those that have been utilizing the chat. If I have missed you out, apologies. Thank you so much for communicating with me. I hope you two and others that join the stream have a great evening. Take care of yourself. Have a great day. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. I'm watching you. All right. Have a good day. Bye-bye.